Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another PNP Short. I'm here again with Chuck Wiseman of Wiseman and Reilley Law Firm here in Hilton Head Island. Chuck, always thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Pete. Glad to be back.
Some do's and don'ts at closing. Chuck's going to give all of you some unbelievable information that a lot of people, since we have a lot of closings, usually from out of the area, out of state, etc., they like to make plans for the day of closing. But Chuck, what are some of the pitfalls that you're seeing? Do's and don'ts.
Really good segment and really good question, especially to avoid I guess delays and heartache on the actual day of closing.
A lot of anxiety. Let's get rid of that anxiety.
Right. On the day of closing, especially here for the Beaufort County area. Very different than probably where other people are from in other parts of the country. We do not have what I call a roundtable closing where the sellers come in with their attorney and the buyers come in with their attorney and both agents show up and we swap checks and keys, how that is done in a lot of parts of the country. Right. That does not happen here due to the fact that most of the clients, buyers and sellers, aren't from here, and it's very hard to schedule them to be in one room at the same time when more than likely they're from out of state. So how we handle it is each party to the contract, to the purchase and sale, will meet with their respective attorneys, sign their documents, and then we do a courier exchange and other by wire transfer to handle the closing after all the paperwork is signed. Getting back to the do's and don'ts, I think it is critical to be informed of this process because to plan a move on the day of closing is extremely, extremely dangerous just because we try to close the day of closing. Very hard to do that, but generally you will close on the day of your closing or when we were supposed to close, but the problem being is we cannot exactly control the actual time. So if you have movers lined up for the morning and you sign in my office in the morning, you may not have actual possession of that property until later in the afternoon. As you can see, that would cause a lot of problems if you've gone ahead and scheduled.
Because the other party has to sign, wire has to get released, transferred through the banking system, etc.
That's right. Just because of the lending regulations and how we handle the wire transactions, generally if there is a finance transaction, we have to sign the documents, send those signed documents back to the lender for their approval, and then they would fund the money or give us a funding approval to go ahead and disperse the file. That can take a couple hours. Right. Sometimes it's very quick. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But I would say as far as scheduling the move on the same day, scheduling any repairs or improvements to the same day. I see this a lot of purchasers are very excited to occupy and take possession of their new home.
They want their contractor to come in and start.
That's right. They want to get the floors redone or install carpet and things like that. And they try to schedule that right away. Unfortunately, that is just very, very difficult to do, and you would literally have a better experience if you would just take a step back and maybe schedule those things a couple days after.
About a three-day grace period would be probably
that'd be
safe.
fine. 2 or 3 days would be great.
So dues, what should they do? Outside of so that instead of saying I'm closing on Tuesday, I want my contractors in Tuesday afternoon. Maybe wait till Friday or the following Monday.
I would say communicate. If there is some hot button, and I understand people are always pressed for time, especially here because they're flying in or they're driving in and they have a limited amount of time to do something before they have to get back to their jobs, to what they're doing. Communicate that with your real estate agent, communicate that with your lender, and please communicate that with your real estate attorney, letting them know, saying, hey, there was no other time to do this. I have to do this on this day. Is it possible that I will have this all ready and be closed by this day? The sooner the better. If you put that on everyone's radar, then we can certainly work with you to try to meet that goal. But so many times I get into the closing room, unbeknownst to me, that someone has scheduled a contractor to come in and they're meeting them within a half hour of leaving my office and they can't access. So if those things have to happen, and I understand they sometimes do, please communicate that as early as possible so everybody can get on the same page.
Yeah, you hear the horror stories, people coming down with a moving van and they're stuck in a hotel for 1 week, 2 weeks, sometimes even longer.
Or they stay at your house.
Or no, they can stay at my house, so remember that. A lot of great stuff. If you have any further questions, contact Chuck at Wiseman and Reilley here in Hilton Head or me at PNP Real Estate. Thanks again for joining us. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you.